so much, my friends, for joining us on this live Tuesday edition as we broadcast worldwide. Ted Nugent contacted the show yesterday and has got a lot he wants to say, popping in the second hour. Very excited about the Nuge, who's a listener of the show, coming in to talk about the Boston bombing and a lot more coming up in the second hour. And then we've got Mark Anderson, who's taken over from Jim Tucker, who died last week, the old sleuth. The old media sleuth who helped expose the globalist cabal and the Bilderberg Group. Mark Anderson, editor of American Free Press, is going to be popping in the last 30 minutes of the broadcast. We're going to have open phones as well today. Here's the deal. I might go on a week-long family vacation once a year. This was supposed to be like a 3-day one. But as things go, one of the children, of course, got sick as we traveled up to Arkansas. So I've decided to stay a couple more days. And I've got so much going on that it was put in the schedule last week for an Esquire cover story reporter who's done them on Ron Paul and others. I think he's done a pretty good job in the past being fair to come down and interview us. But I tell you, that's how you impress people, is to stand them up. And so the Esquire reporter is sitting there in the office in Austin, Texas right now, while I am sitting here just trying to, I swear, it's like vacations are more stressful than just staying at home. But I've decided to stay a few more days in Arkansas, and so we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Who knows? I might fly, if he wants to, the Esquire writer up, and we'll have Gonzo journalism with him here, not in studio, but in hotel room with me tomorrow. Who knows if we do that, Richard? We ought to get one of their banquet rooms, one of their smaller business offices, and then maybe do the interview in there tomorrow. We're going to have 2 microphones. Did we bring 2 microphones? We brought 2 microphones, so who knows? Actually, tomorrow's Mike Adams, so it would be Thursday. Maybe we'll have the, I'm inviting the Esquire writer. In fact, I think I was just told he is going to be coming here, so we should just have him here with us in studio, in hotel room. Doesn't sound right. In studio. Okay, folks. Obviously, it is an insane day, a ton of crazy things going on. This radio show broke into the mainstream of the political mind a long time ago. But the establishment played this weird game of denying we existed or only demonizing us occasionally. That dam has completely not just ruptured, but completely collapsed. And there is a National Review article, the gospel according to Alex Jones, I was just told about. I haven't had time to read the whole thing yet. David Knight, our reporter, is analyzing that. He'll be joining us at the bottom of the hour. And this is not a gonzo show where I sit here and talk about myself all day, other than the fact that what happens to this broadcast more and more is tied to what happens to the Republic. It's kind of like what happens to Ron Paul or Rand Paul or people like Ted Cruz is tied to the future of the Republic. What happens to DrudgeReport.com is tied to the future of the Republic. I mean, there's not that much resistance to this tyranny in the media and the government. There's massive resistance in the grassroots, in the fruited plain. So if we are able to be successful, then that is a bigger hole in the enemy's fortress. That's a bigger chink in the dragon's underbelly armor. So what they do to us is really what they do to the liberty movement, period. It was National Review that went after the John Birch Society in the 60s for saying the war in Vietnam was wrong, and that the globalists were actually funding communists and using it as a Galilean dialectic to consolidate power and create a fake liberal counterculture. And that, of course, has now been declassified. Welch and others were exactly right. So when I first heard National Review had done a big story, I thought, oh, goodness gracious, are they going to come after me like they did the John Birch Society? Because, at that time, William F. Buckley was CIA. That's all, again, been declassified. You can look that up. And was there to basically control the conservative liberty movement in this country. Just like Karl Rove is on Fox News lecturing everyone to, don't listen to the Tea Party. Don't listen to these anti-New World Order people. Don't listen to them about all this radical conspiracy theories. He's saying basically the same thing that, White House-run Media Matters and people are saying. Okay, when we come back, all the big news on the Second Amendment, on Syria, and your phone calls, big broadcast, Ted Nugent, you name it.
I'm Darren McBreen, and these are some of the new items that are available now at InfoWarsShop.com.
Alert the public to Obama's blatant abuse of power with the new Obama t-shirt. Obama's Joker face on the front and come and take it on the back. It's time to publicly call him out for what he is, a tyrant. Defend the Second Amendment with our top seller Come and Take It t-shirts. And look at that, women's cut tank tops and t-shirts now available. Nice hat. plus the Don't Tread on Me flag. And now you can become a micro distributor of the InfoWars magazine. Plus, get your own copy delivered right to your door each and every month. And if you're tired like I am of you and your family being exposed to polluted drinking water, get the Pro One high-performance water filter. It gets rid of all pathogenic bacteria, cyst, fluoride, heavy metals, and numerous other contaminants.
So join the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on another live worldwide broadcast. Again, it is 11:08 Central Standard Time today on this Tuesday edition. And here are just some of the headlines we're going to be going over today. FBI is now taking samples from the suspect's widow. Tamerlan claimed conspiracy. Derailed boxing career. Ron Paul says police manhunt for a suspect scarier than attack. Rand Paul warns of 1984 surveillance scenario. Government to fine companies for not complying with wiretap orders. That is just some of the news we're going to be covering today. Also, the GAO, the General Accounting Office, to now investigate Homeland Security ammo purchases, and that's from U.S. News and World Report right now. And, of course, I was going to that link via Drudge Report and drudgereport.com. Right underneath that link, backlog on gun owners hits 2 million guns. While questions continue to swirl about the Department of Homeland Security's huge ammo spree, Americans are finding it increasingly difficult to obtain firearms while backlogs surge despite Stromruger gun shipments surpassing 500,000 for the first time in history. Almost every gun manufacturer I talk to has 6 months to a year to 2 years backlog. That's why a Barrett 50 cal a year ago was $5,000 that I bought as an investment, knowing this was coming, and is now worth $25,000. So if I ever need to cash that in to keep funding the media operation, we have it. And so I said, wow, this is working, and let me get another one. You know, as I saw the price going up, I bought that, I don't know, $6,000, $7,000, and it's $25,000. Just an example of what's happening here. And notice they've gone now in the media from saying that it's a conspiracy theory that they bought bullets to it's a conspiracy theory that we should be concerned about the bullets. That's now what they're saying, that it's a conspiracy theory that we're concerned. And I was just during the break reading the National Review article that I just was told about right before I went on air, The Gospel According to Alex Jones. And it says, you know, his conspiracy theory of the bullets has now gone mainstream. It's kind of like saying his conspiracy theory that George Washington exists has gone mainstream. His conspiracy theory that Jesus Christ existed has now gone mainstream. His conspiracy theory that the Atlantic Ocean is east of New York City has gone mainstream. His conspiracy theory that Mexico is the country south of the U.S. border in the south is a conspiracy theory. I mean, they are, everything they've got is betting on the fact that you're stupid, that you're not informed, that you can't go verify our articles from over a year ago that link to the federal biz site with the federal purchase orders and bids that under federal law are public. So what are they going to do about things that are public? They're just going to sit there and hope that you don't go click the links in an Infowars.com article or a Drudge Report linked article, and they are just hoping that you don't go look into it. But I mean, what are they going to do? Even when Fox News and Forbes are going, well, actually, they did buy billions of bullets. We should have a national discussion. Well, Big Sis sits up there in Congress and goes, those are not credible media sources. A known liar who ran fast and furious, a false flag terror attack, killing thousands of people, hundreds on our side, thousands in Mexico. Conservative numbers are 400. Some of the numbers are as high as 8,000. I mean, there's like 60,000 plus dead the last, 5-6 years in Mexico and growing. But they just, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, too. I've seen articles saying Alex Jones pushes the Fast and Furious conspiracy theory. I mean, CBS News a year ago got the documents saying that they staged it to blame the Second Amendment. That came out in the memos. Of course they shipped the guns into Mexico to then track them back to deaths on both sides to blame the Second Amendment. How did I know that? When Obama first got in 4 years ago, they gave press conferences with Big Sis and Eric Holder and the rest of them. You all remember. We've done the nightly news pieces. We've played it here, showing them when they said, we know nothing about Fast and Furious. We didn't know about Operation Gun Runner. We didn't know anything about this. And then we showed clips of them going, we're running an Operation Gun Runner to track and trace guns into Mexico. And this is in 2009. In 2010, press conference after press conference, and the media's like, gee, did they lie? Did they lie to Congress saying that they didn't know? They were up there saying, we're tracking guns that came out of the U.S. back into Mexico and back here causing murders. And the Mexican president came out and said, it's your fault, America. Turn your guns in like we've done here. Yes, you can have the highest crime rate in the world per capita, where the citizens have their guns taken, but the government and the mafia still has it. That's the definition of a recipe, an atmosphere, a climate, a soup, an ether in which the dragons of corruption swim and devour the innocent. Am I preaching? You bet I'm preaching. From the heart. And you know what they're threatened by? They're threatened by intellect and common sense and us making a connection and you going and pulling up the clips. Just type into YouTube, Big Sis knew, Jan Napolitano knew about Fast and Furious, and it's press conferences, or Big Sis caught in lies, or Holder caught in lies on Fast and Furious. And it's not just us. Everybody did the videos. It's hiding in plain view like a 10 trillion pound, scrofulous, pus-filled, disgusting, stinking elephant sitting on us. And they're telling us that we shouldn't notice it, we shouldn't care, we shouldn't be involved, we should just shut up and go to sleep. So you remember them, and I want my reporters to pull this up. That's why we're trying to get more reporters so we can do more. To pull up all the clips now within the last year and a half since we broke this and pushed this. And they're always like, oh, what is it? Is it $1 billion? Is it 1.6 billion? Is it 2 billion? Is it 2 billion, 200 million? And they'll show clips on the news. You can pull, well, we've played these, where they'll have us saying $1 billion and then 1.6 like we're lying. Like, what is it, Alex? Is it $1 billion? Is it 1.6? Is it 2 billion? Is it 2.2 billion? What is it, Alex? Which one is it, Alex? Which conspiracy theory is it, Alex? Not telling their idiot viewers, or people they think are idiots, that they're going back over a year and a half as the number of bullets increased. You know who they're targeting? They're targeting people that my reporter and Mark Dice, John Bound, they went out to California. They've gone out to Austin. Leanne McAdoo's gone out to Austin. And everyone, except one person, stopped and signed a petition to ban water for the earth. Everyone, but a couple people said, put everyone in FEMA camps that owns guns, arrest the gun owners, and inject children with mercury and brain damage them for more autism, and to put America under Nazi rule. And these are people that speak English, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, go, yes, as long as it's for the Democratic Party, Heil Adolf Hitler. They said, I want Nazi, fascist, Orwellian rule in America. And by the way, I'm going to go out with a live feed. We've got live feeds via our iPhone 5s and stuff. I want to send the crews out this week during the show, maybe Friday's show, in Austin. I want to go to UT, and I want to go down to the pedestrian hike and bike trail, and I want to show the world live feed. You don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, we don't go out there for 2 hours to find idiots. We go out there for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and get everything we need to show you, because we're looking for people that are informed. It isn't happening. If you find a trendy, you find someone in a trance state, a medical, sleepwalking trance state, and let me tell you, I'm here to wake you up, okay? Yeah, we need to have, fascist Nazi rule like Nazi Germany, take the guns, have an Orwellian police state. Will you please sign a petition for the Orwellian police state, ma'am? Oh, yes, I will. Yes, we want to, confiscate the guns door to door because these guns are evil in citizens' hands. Only the police and military. You don't need to tell me, buddy. I absolutely hear you. Let me sign that petition for you. And that's what's happened. You've got those of us that are informed. We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. They always try to say, Alex Jones says they know everything and everybody else is a moron. No, I just have a heartbeat. I still am conscious a little bit I still try to pay attention. I haven't just given up to the whole, mega state control system. And other people aren't giving up. You got to love this U.S. News and World Report article. GAO now investigating DHS ammo purchases. And they go on to say, oh, they're looking into it now. Because it was just 6 months ago enough for 25, or was it 6 years, 20-plus years of an Iraq war. And now it's 30-something years, because it's well over 2,200,000,000 bullets in the last 18, 19 months. GAO now investigating DHS ammo purchases. The Government Accountability Office tells Whispers it is now investigating large ammunition purchases made by the Department of Homeland Security. Chuck Young, a spokesman for GAO, says the investigation of the purchases just getting underway. The Congressional Investigation Agency is jumping into the fray just as legislation was introduced in both the Senate and the House to restrict the purchase of ammo by some government agencies, except the Department of Defense has its own factories and procurement. The Ammo Act, introduced Friday, would prevent agencies from buying more ammunition in stockpiles or greater than what were in previous administrations. Bingo. Last time we did the numbers, about 6, 8 months ago, I don't know, it was like back in like November, I don't know, 6 months ago, it was something like 12 times what had ever been purchased in a single year. And see, they'd pull the straw man on you again like you're a moron. They would go show the Social Security Administration getting a couple 100,000 rounds, or this administration getting 1.2 million, and go, Alex Jones has been discredited, ladies and gentlemen.
Jakari Jackson here, and I want to talk to you for a second about water. You know about ProPure, our flagship water purification system, but check out some of our portable water filter products at InfoWarsStore.com. The clearly filtered water pitcher. Also, for those of you on the go, we have the Athlete Edition filtered water bottle and the RAD Eliminator Pro filtered sports bottle that removes radiation. And keep in mind, we have replacement filters for all of these products. The ever-popular grab-and-go bag favorite, the Life Straw, the Crystal Quest shower filter system, and the Aquapod kit, great for mass storage of water. And while you're at the InfoWars shop, pick up a copy of our latest book, 31 Days to Survival. You can find all this and more at the InfoWarsStore.com. And don't forget, it's your support that funds our operation. Sign up for our free newsletter at InfoWars.com/newsletter.
If you'd like to comment about the ammo conspiracy cover-up imploding, or the fact that our government is openly saying WMD lies again about Syria, that legally and lawfully have their own chemical weapons, and now there's articles about Al-Qaeda trying to take over their chemical weapons, so the West has to bomb Syria because the Al-Qaeda the West put in and is being led by the CIA and MI6 may get the chemical weapons, and people say, oh, we just train the Arabs to kill each other. No, the West has always run Al-Qaeda and the jihadis and is using them to overthrow governments that are not even threatening American interest. And they're doing that to put people in power that do threaten real American interest. The globalists are involved in treason. And all the good old boys that are like, hey, how come Homeland Security's for veterans and gun owners now? That was always the plan. The globalists have captured America. They run Al-Qaeda, and it's now totally public. And now it's coming out with the brothers, the Patsy brothers, Tamerlan and his little brother, that there are audio recordings of them saying, we didn't do it, we didn't do it. That's up on Infowars.com. Big breaking news. In fact, you guys grab that audio. I haven't even mentioned that yet. You've got the family that I mean, have intelligence connections written all over them, a bunch of lawyers and oil company execs, the brothers. You know, the older brother sent under a CIA-sponsored program to Dagestan and Georgia, and that's been released, and no one's challenged that. I mean, I've already gone over all this, and people are like, are you saying there aren't Muslim extremists? You know, it's so fun to have this bombing and get all upset and, you know, kumbaya America. America is being destroyed by the globalist. Our republic is being systematically shut down by the New World Order. And if people can't get this, they fund all the sides, all the major sides. And I've talked about it ad nauseum, but I'd love to get your take on that as well. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. 1. And we will get you up and on the air here today. I want to get your take on that. But getting back to U.S. News and World Report, they even post a local TV station out of New York with Lionel. A Lionel commentary on WPIX, who, by the way, is coming on with us Friday. And again, it sounds like Alex Jones. And I'm sure Lionel's listening right now. He's a fan of the show. I'm a fan of what he does. He introduced me a few years ago at the Talkers keynote speech in New York. But the point is that, what are they going to do? Now there's Lionel. Now there's Ben Swann. Now there's Drudge Report. Now there's Michael Savage. Now everybody's talking about the bullets. Now Glenn Beck is up there saying it's not a real story because I report it. When all I've been doing is reporting on the federal government's own purchase orders. But it gets worse. The Congressional Investigative Agency is jumping into the fray just as legislation was introduced in both the Senate and the House to restrict the purchases of ammo by some government agencies, except the Department of Defense. The Ammo Act introduced Friday would prevent agencies from buying more ammunition if stockpiles are greater than they were in previous administrations, which they're 12 times a year previously. And they go, we haven't even gotten all this ammo. No, you got about 1 billion rounds, 1 billion more coming, and anything factories scale up to make, they then up the orders to make sure we can't get the bullets. That's what's happening. Duh. And it says, Donnell Harder, a spokesman for Senator Jim Inhofe, Republican Oklahoma, who introduced the legislation in the Senate, tells Whispers the bill would also require GAO to share the findings of its report on DHS purchases with Congress. And it goes on. And then there's another article right there about Schumer and McCain say gun control's coming back. Oh, yes, they never quit trying to disarm us while they armed to the teeth against us. Officials at DHS have denied to both Whispers and lawmakers that it's stockpiling ammunition. See, the conspiracy is they say what our definition is wrong. First, there was no bullets, extra bullets. Now, okay, there are bullets, but you're discredited. You broke a story. You've been proven right, so you're discredited. Your horse won the Kentucky Derby, so you're discredited. You won the NFL, you're discredited. You won the Super Bowl. You won the boxing match, you're discredited. You won the art show, you're discredited. You were confirmed right over and over again, you're discredited. That's why I'm so discredited, because I'm right. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds? I wanted to give you a few of the headlines that are up on Infowars.com right now. Syrian chemical weapons. Globalist magazines say Kucinich is a Infowars conspiracy theorist. So now if anybody on the left, right, libertarian, anything, says, hey, our government set up Iraq with WMDs, our government's putting al-Qaeda in Syria, that's an admitted fact, even the CFR admits that. If Dennis Kucinich comes out and says, hey, this is wrong, and says the sky is blue, he's now an InfoWars person. See, notice they're going after InfoWars. They're now going from ignoring that name to trying to discredit it because they're in panic mode. And this is the time that we need your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. Because the globalists are funding al-Qaeda. LA Times, New York Times admit it at the back of the paper. It's totally immoral. They gave them Libya. They're giving them Syria. 26-month attack. Killing Christians, blowing up mosques, blowing up churches, synagogues. And people are like, what, you like Assad? Well, Assad's done nothing to anybody. His dad was a pretty bad guy. I'm not a fan of the dictatorships over there, but our government gets rid of one old dictator, Mubarak, and puts something 10 times worse in. Because it's not our government. It's so frustrating. I mean, it's so evil. It's so immoral. And it's so bizarre. But then you look at history and look what all the other corrupt governments get away with. And then I'm having my liberties taken because of al-Qaeda threat? And they go, oh, yeah, the al-Qaeda threat. See the Boston bombing. The al-Qaeda threat, those guys are clear intelligence cutouts. Nothing to do with al-Qaeda. Boston bombers during shootout. We didn't do it. Audio feed suspicious brothers may have been set up. We're going to be getting to that in the next hour. Backlog of gun orders hits 2 million. Infowars.com, also link drudgereport.com. GAO now investigating DHS ammo purchases. You already covered that. The crisis is imminent. When the real crash comes, it will be worse than the Great Depression. That's what top analysts are saying. 20 signs the next great economic depression has already started in Europe. How to instantly tell who's evil versus good, the philosophy of control versus empowerment. Flashback, NBC report confirms bankers really do fund drug cartels and terror groups. And by the way, I haven't even gotten into a report last Friday by Matt Taibbi, big story in Rolling Stone, some of the old line media that still has an effect because they know you've got to tell some of the truth to have any readers. What is he, an evil conspiracy theorist? Where he goes and says, I have to apologize to the conspiracy theorists and say there's a one world corporate government. It's absolutely true. It's mega banks, total insider trading, the stock market, interest rates, everything is an engineered fraud. You are correct, and they're forming a world government where they're above the law in a 14-page article. Like Alex Jones wrote it. I mean, there's no future if there's no checks and balances on these people. And they're the opposite of free market, and they're blaming capitalism and the free market for their monopoly system. What's the number one way to get power and make money in America? Well, if you control the government regulatorily through your corporate minions who have been put in power, they can simply shut down all their competition and move everything to offshore third world countries where you work with communist dictatorships who only let you operate. Then once there's a climate of almost everything being shut down, the few operations allowed to operate that you control or own make double, triple, quadruple profits. And then everybody's got to bow to you because it's the only job. That's called a managed economy. That's called a fascistic economy. That's called corporatism. But the left is out there going, all business is evil, all private money is bad. And they're being funded by mega banks who want to extinguish the light of the middle class and the real free market, the engine, the genie in the bottle that could overthrow them. Use the stupid Star Wars analogy, the free market middle class are the Jedi. And they must be hunted down and exterminated. Execute order number 66. Do what must be done, Lord Vader. Show no mercy. And that's exactly what's going on. Shut America down. Shut it down. Shut it down to where you're the only game in town. What did the Rockefellers do in booming states like West Virginia and Arkansas in the last 100 years? They came in, they took it over, they imploded the states by design, and they own and run it all. They want dark ages. They want feudalism. They want you under their control. Now, I'm going to get to your calls. And I haven't even gotten into the Syria situation with the same story. They got WMDs. They're going to use them. And Syria for a year is like Al-Qaeda's got them. The West is giving it to them through Turkey and other countries. The NATO is here. It's on record. This is evil. You're running Al-Qaeda. Don't do it. We would never use chemical weapons. They don't even work very well anyways. We are not going to do that. Do not stop attacking us. Stop. And then as soon as Hagel, stages this deal, and, as soon as that deal happens, now they can make a deal. Russia, you can take out the Muslim extremists we put in your country, in southern Russia, but let us now have Syria. And the Russians step back and go, all right, we're your friends. And boom, they attack the air war that'll be called a peace war. Why not give Obama a peace prize every bomb he drops on Libya or Syria or on a whole, wedding party to get one bad guy? Why not give Joseph Mengele peace prizes? Why not give Hitler a couple dozen? I mean, if you're going to give him one, why stop there? Now, all of this said, showing that I guess I'm one of the only people crazy enough to go up against these people. I mean, it's my instinct. I mean, whatever choice do we have? What I've always dreaded privately, and I've even said this on air, is that when the National Review comes after Infowars.com, that means we're really effective. Rachel Maddow comes after us, it's not a big deal. CNN comes after us, it's not a big deal because libertarians and conservatives will immediately go, oh, Alex is good. When you really know I'm effective is when they have the Republicans come after me. The same ones who all day try to keep libertarians and conservatives on a reservation of Mitt Romney-type Republicans who'll give us open borders, anti-gun garbage. I saw a Fox News piece where they go, the Zarnev brothers, they came here and got $100,000 a year in welfare. That number's out. They got the American dream of free housing and everything. I've got this clip. We may play it later. And then they turned on us. No, the American dream is not free welfare and all this garbage. And then they have this anti-immigrant talk, but it's only in words to then act like they're doing something about it. America is being systematically conquered economically and financially and well, same thing, and culturally by the globalists. They're bringing in people from countries that have no history of freedom because they'll go along with it. God bless them. I wish they had freedom. America doesn't export liberty. It's been conquered. It now exports tyranny. But they can compare us to another tyrannical country and go, well, you know, what are you for Russia? Or, you know, no, I live here. This is my republic. I want America back. And because I espouse ideas that are truly Americana, I'm under attack. So pray for us, spread the word about the broadcast. Because when you have National Review coming out in big stories and basically demonizing Alex Jones, yours truly, and then saying, oh, it's a religion. They believe in the New World Order. They believe the bullets were bought. They believe there's globalism. While the globalists brag in newspapers, like the Financial Times and Newsweek, but from a perspective of global government's good. See, if global government's good and you say it's good, I'd be invited to the CFR. I'd be all over national news. I'd be the darling. I don't want to be on your sinking ship, sorry. But if I say it's bad, oh, then it doesn't exist. Now, here's the thing. Do you pass or fail the test, America? Are you so dumb as to see all this happening and not realize how transparent the propaganda is? They're using the same propaganda on me they used on Barry Goldwater and that they used on the John Birch Society and that they used on Ron Paul, bashing him in the 90s. Now they don't do it so much because Ron Paul won. He won the hearts and minds. And see, we're winning now. This is not the 50s and 60s and 70s where a guy with a fake Atlantic British accent, William F. Buckley, say, what do you think about the future integration of the systems, American system worldwide, the everyone's like, in fact, I'm going to now do this interview with, because I'm the son of a robber baron, steel coal baron, who made his money off of consolidation and monopolies. For example, then I'm going to intellectually here speak right now with the man named David Knight, InfoWars. David, what does this have to say about the religion of the Church of Alex Jones, National Review? Because William F. Buckley has been what should I say, resurrected here today with a fake Atlantic accent to discuss here with us on air this dangerous young man. David Knight, again, William F. Buckley here for the National Review. Here with you on PBS. So we're on the PBS, but we're anti-government, though. What are we now saying? What is your defense of the pitiful Alex Jones now?
Well, you know, Alex, what we're seeing here from the National Review, you had MSNBC, which is really the neocon CIA left. Now we've got National Review, which is really the neocon CIA right attacking you. And I find it interesting because the first part of the article. Well, the whole article is really about how it's not about information, but it's about faith. And she says in the second paragraph, Jones's theories have sometimes gained currency outside of InfoWars. Recently, he reported that Homeland Security was buying a notable amount of ammunition, as if it was just a single report. And then she mentions the fact that congressmen and senators are now having issues with it. But now listen to the way she ends it here. She says, but as tends to be the case with InfoWars narratives, it turns out to be a non-issue. The DHS buys large quantities of ammo to use at law enforcement training centers, and there's little change in the quantity purchased this year compared with previous years. That's absolutely not true. I mean, if they're going to try to destroy you, they need to get a little bit closer to the truth.
Well, they're counting on, I mean, here's the deal, and they're also trying to demonize Tea Party Republicans, who they're now discovering a lot of them are my listeners. I mean, yeah. We'll call congressmen from Tennessee or the Carolinas and as guests. They go, well, yes, we'd love to come on. I listened yesterday to the show. You know, when I'm talking to these guys during the breaks, they'll have a little bit of distance once they're on air, which is fine. But the truth is, they're listening, they're going and checking, they're finding out 99% of the time we're telling the truth. Do I make mistakes sometimes? Yes. But again, now it's enough to 35-year war. It was a 25-year war. In Iraq, and it's thousands of bullets more than each person in the military uses. 4 times. And they're buying armored vehicles and all this. They cannot deny that they're militarizing and having drills every day now in major cities of martial law to acclimate us. And the Army manuals say for gun confiscation. Because I'll tell you what they're really scared of, David. They're scared they're now going to not just look at the bullets, but the Army manuals for FEMA camps and the Army manuals for gun confiscation. Guys, type them in, put them on screen for TV viewers. They are scared to death because now if the rest of the country listens to us, and by the way, folks, you can kill me, shut me down, destroy me. The message is already sent. America knows there's an authoritarian takeover happening. And of course, the CIA, East Coast establishment, fake right wing that took over real conservatism in this country and you know, help stop the John Birch Society from saving America early on. You guys are not fighting in 1965, okay? People know the truth now. Look at the gun purchases going on. We know National Review, and I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
Well, the whole thing is really kind of a snarky attack. The very first sentence says, InfoWars is a misnomer. At its core, 9/11 Truther, Alex Jones's infamous website, is not about info, it's about faith. And then it goes on to say he's an evangelist looking for converts. The whole thing is basically set up to make you and your listeners look like idiots. But they look like idiots when they try to spin this story about the ammunition. I mean, the facts are out there. We've actually linked to the places where they were doing the purchases because we knew that people were going to push back against us.
Look, they count on this,
but over a year.
Sure.
Yeah. And,
well, let's go back to the 9/11 stuff. Let's go back to that. Okay, they always spin it. I mean, this was an exact quote when I bullhorned him at the DNC in 2008 in Denver. People can pull up Alex Jones, you know, bullhorns MSNBC. And Chris Matthews says, Alex Jones says Bush was at the towers with a plunger like Wile E. Coyote and blew it up. I never said that. In fact, I said Bush probably didn't even know because I talked to somebody that was in the bunker that night and said, you know, Bush was running around. Well, I think it was Marvin Bush, or one of them came back and even gave a speech at UT I have tape of where he talked about him in the bunker running around, you know, scared in his underwear. And I was told that by somebody else that was there. You know, it's at night, you know, he's asleep, but he's kind of watching TV, freaked out. Either that or he's a great actor, which he isn't. I'm even, and again, I'm not defending George Bush. He was a bad globalist puppet. The point is that the military-industrial complex in the PNAC documents, September 20th, wrote, anybody can read this, Dick Cheney, we need a Pearl Harbor catalyzing event to be able to get Americans to accept giving up their liberties and launching these wars. 3,000 dead's what Pearl Harbor did, 3,000 9/11. Incredible. We have all these documents, this history of it, and you have NORAD standing down, and you have the dean of the Defense Language School going public and saying Muhammad Atta was trained in his class. You have the head of the U.S. Embassy in Jeddah saying they were ordered to let the hijackers back in the U.S. Just like when more stuff gets blown up by Al-Qaeda or they take the fall, I'll be on air going, our government gave Al-Qaeda the heat-seeking missiles in Benghazi. Our government's putting them in charge. This is wrong. And they'll be, how dare you, traitor, after Al-Qaeda blew down the jetliner. You know, that's coming, folks. How dare you say the government did it? No, criminal globalist networks want to take our liberty. They're funding radicals to do it. Now, that is very simple and easy to understand. And I'm sick and tired of them. Anybody that goes along with this government is aiding Al-Qaeda. When I said Obama is the global head of Al-Qaeda a month ago, it's true. It's true. He heads up NATO, and NATO runs Al-Qaeda. David Knight.
Well, you know, she says that basically these bullets don't exist, that you're a crazy, paranoid conspiracist. She says, here's the way she closes the article. She says, it's easy to write him off as a kook and a lunatic. That's what they did to Jeremiah. But the difference between Jones and the prophet Jeremiah is that Jones appears to be a paranoid. Well, I tell you what, you know, Jeremiah looked pretty paranoid to the people that he was prophesying to. And while we're on that, just in case you think this is all paranoid, listen to this that just broke on Breitbart. Jakari brought this into me. This is a quote. Today we face incredibly well-funded gangs of fundamentalist Christian monsters who terrorize fellow Americans by forcing their weaponized and twisted version of Christianity upon their helpless subordinates and our nation's armed forces. These words were recently written by Mickey Weinstein, founder of the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. This is a guy who goes on to quote the Southern Poverty Law Center. And guess who he's really talking about here? None other than people like Dr. James Dobson, leader of Focus on the Family. So we've seen now in just a couple of weeks, we've seen
the most mainline Christian conservative groups out there. I'm going to have you back in the later in the third hour to talk about this because I want to get into this. And you have Christian groups being shot up now, and people say they did it for the Southern Poverty Law Center. And then you have the Army manual saying Christians, period, are extremists. Folks, these are the authoritarians trying to take our country over. Authoritarian control freaks throughout history have sought to make populations dependent. The United Nations openly has talked about using food as a weapon against the third world and the industrialized first world. State Department Memorandum 200, developed by Henry Kissinger, called for destroying the food capacity, not just of the United States, but every country in the world so they could use food scarcity as a political weapon of control. Just a decade ago, less than 10 million Americans were on food stamps. 4 years ago, it was 25 million. It's now reached almost 50 million. Socialist health care is designed to destroy our health care system. The establishment wants you to be a bunch of cowardly, dumbed-down people who can't stand up for yourselves. That's why they're rushing to try to restrict citizens owning firearms. Because since the early 1990s, gun ownership has gone straight up, while violent crime has gone straight down by 49%. And globalist-controlled strongholds like Chicago and New York, where they've taken the citizens' guns, have the highest crime rates in the world. What am I getting at here? The system doesn't want you to be self-sufficient. That's why I promote the fact that you should go out, buy firearms, and go take lessons and learn how to use them. I want you to stand up for your birthright of liberty and freedom. During a serious meltdown, they're going to tell you, hey, you want food? Turn in your guns. And that's why we need to put the globalists in check. And then finally bring them to checkmate by being self-sufficient, by being prepared, by having a garden, by learning how to can your own foods, by having friends and family and community that will stand together. But at the heart of that is having quality, storable foods. And that's why I went out more than a decade ago and found the very best food company to be my sponsor, eFoods Direct. They're the company that I personally use for my emergency food storage preparation, whether it be for natural disasters or the tyranny that is intensifying. So give them a call, 800-409-5633. That's 800-409-5633. Or efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find the weekly and monthly specials. But they're always running the specials where you can get the free 6 meals and the eFoods Direct audio CD put together by the experts in storable foods to answer all your questions, the eFoods planning guide, the eFoods brochure, the eFoods catalog, plus 6 free meals, creamy potato soup, tortilla soup, and cheesy chicken rice, so you can sample the high-quality storable foods from eFoods Direct. They've got a bunch of other specials.
The 2-week food supply provides one adult with 81 servings of healthy, delicious, storable food for 14 days.
The 1-month food supply provides 192 servings for 28 days.
And then there's the 1-month family food pack. It will change the way you look at the food in your pantry. Every time you eat one of these meals, you are eating healthy, delicious food and saving a lot of money.
The 3-month food supply, 576 servings of storable food for 91 days.
And the 1-year food supply will provide you with 2,304 servings of healthy, delicious, storable food for 1 full year.
Your meals are as delicious and nutritious tonight as they'll be in 25 years.
Bottom line, there's a bunch of specials at efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can also call them at the toll-free number on your screen, and they can send you a catalog with all the specials detailed and tell you about the weekly and monthly specials that they're always running. efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find all the specials, or call the toll-free number. And so in closing, when you buy from efoodsdirect.com, you are supporting the radio broadcast, the nightly news, the magazine, the films, and everything we're doing. Because we're not like MSNBC or Media Matters that get government and corporate funding to bring down America and bring in tyranny. We are funded by our sponsors and you, the viewers and listeners that support them. Again, that's efoodsdirect.com/Alex or 800-409-5633. And when you're also visiting Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, you can click on the banners to take you to the weekly and monthly specials. It's like the Hank Williams Jr. song, "A Country Boy Can Survive," because you can't starve us out and you can't make us run, because these boys were raised on shotguns. Well, there aren't really a lot of good old boys left anymore, are there? And those that are out there are demonized and are enemy number 1 by Homeland Security. And good old boys come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. They're people that aren't chumps, who understand that they're going to take care of their family and that nobody else is. They're people that understand that if somebody else is taking care of them, that makes them a slave. And that the government doesn't want you dependent because they want to build a great future for you. They want to get you dependent so they can social engineer us. So the answer is get self-sufficient, become men again, and tell the New World Order to go straight to hell. Alex Jones signing off for Infowars.com and eFoods Direct, our great sponsor. Look, the truth is, I've studied history. My listeners, my guests, we've all studied history. We know what we're talking about. The army is now being taught across the board that Christianity is a cult and is evil. The globalists are trying to teach young children how to have sex in public schools. They are the social engineers. They control the state. They're taking over, and they control both political parties. And anyone that dares stand up and call them out is being told to sit down and shut up. We're going to get into the attack on mainline Christianity now at the bottom of the next hour after Ted Nugent leaves us. Okay, let's go to Joe and then Nick and Eric and others. Joe, you're on the air from Pennsylvania. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Long-time listener, long-time supporter. There's a few topics I want to talk about. I saw that thing with Rachel Maddow. It really made me sick. But, you know, it really hit me. You know, she was attacking you and Glenn Beck. What's she going to say about Mr. Kucinich now? That's one of her guys, isn't it?
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to that clip yet. He's pointing out that our government's, you know, helping al-Qaeda attack Syria, which is an admitted fact. I mean, that's been admitted for over a year. And then they just call him a conspiracy theorist. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, hey, I think I like chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla. Conspiracy theorist. That's actually come out in the news. They tell TSA that if you don't like being groped when they go in your pants, they go, sir, don't be a conspiracy theorist. So now, first they said they weren't sticking their hands down our pants. Now they're admittedly doing it. So they then just say, you're a conspiracy theorist because you don't like it. I mean, is that not amazing?
It's amazing, but check this out, too. Here's what's even more amazing. When that bombing went on, and all those clips went up on, all over the Internet, I posted them all over Facebook. Within 2 days, every single one of them were taken down, and all the friends that put them up there, they were all gone. They were taken off Facebook. And I look at people, you know, I encourage people all the time. I say, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to what anybody has to say. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Rachel Maddow, CNBC, Fox News, Alex Jones, Glenn Beck. Don't listen. Take the information. Think for yourself. And those people out there, they will not think for themselves. They'd rather be, you know, sit there and just drink the Kool-Aid. But anybody that's going to think for themselves will find the truth, and they'll prove who's a liar and who's not.
Wow, very well said. I mean, just look at what happened. You've got a drill. Boston Globe admits it. So we go look at the photos and videos to see, was there a drill? Because they first admitted it, then they said it was a conspiracy. So we went to the photos. There's the military, plain clothes, black backpacks right around the bomb. Okay, here's their photos. And our Facebook wouldn't let us post those. Our Facebook wouldn't let us link to other people's Twitters and Facebook photos. And so, yes, why didn't they want you to see it? Then we sent a reporter there to hand out the photos. Secret Service, outside their jurisdiction, get around our reporter and tell the media, do not look at this, and threaten him. And then the FBI gets up and says, only look at photos we give you. And the media followed orders and didn't. We have a drill. They were caught red-handed. The guys that supposedly did the bombing, convicted. One dead, one can't talk. In America, we're told just believe that. They are openly on CIA payroll in different programs. I mean, we have them.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done's been right.
And I know I was hyperventilating earlier. They're openly teaching the military that all Christians, Catholics, Protestants are evil terrorists and putting them in briefings next to al-Qaeda. I mean, if that isn't a bad government, I don't know what is. I mean, I'm sick of it. And next they're going to call you conspiracy theorist if you don't like being called a terrorist. So that's all coming up. I mean, this is Twilight Zone, but tyranny is Twilight Zone. And people just can't believe it's happening in every generation. If you do wake up and say no, you get freedom. If you don't wake up, we go into hell. Let's go to Nick and then Eric and then Philip and then Ron. We're going to get to all of you. Nick in Alabama, thanks for holding her on the air.
Yes, sir. I wanted to give you and the crew good props and heads up saying that not only do you guys exactly tell what's going on out there, but you cite your sources. Back when I was in high school, if I tried to write a report and didn't cite my sources, I failed. I watch a lot of different, and I listen to a lot of different types of media. And when it comes down to it, you guys really sort of like tell people where to go. not just like...
Yeah, that's right. If I say the FBI's Unified Crime Reports say that violent crime has dropped 49% since 1991 to 2011, the numbers are always 2 years behind. I put it on screen, show us the URL clicking, and then show the numbers broken down on screen. If I tell you they just bought another 200 million bullets, I link to the new purchase order. And when they attack us, notice they never do. That's, I mean, because they think you're stupid. There's the proof right there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I really wish I had the gonads like you did, because if I did, then I'd be out there too, trying to basically do maybe in more of a NPR type of wispy voice that would like sort of present the news and da-da-da.
But they did get the bullets. Well, I mean, here's the deal.
They did.
I'm a high-energy guy. I can only do this show if I get ramped up. The reason I'm so ramped up is I am actually exhausted. And so if I don't go 110%, then I couldn't do the show. So there's either, there's fifth gear. That's the only gear I've got. Well, I got first gear and fifth gear. I don't have any in-between gears. What about you?
I'm either all the way or none at all. I try to do my best, but and I try not to get too popular. But of course, when you try your best, you.
Well, sir, don't listen. You've got to have big huevos, big gonads, not to fight this 110%. If this comes in, we're all in deep crap. Okay, so when I'm conscripting you right now, I'm drafting you to the Liberty Army. Do a YouTube channel. Don't have to show your face. Put up images while you talk. You can do screen captures, you name it, and start doing a daily or weekly show right now. Commit to this fight now, brother. We need every able-bodied man and woman to engage the enemy 110% now. They're scared right now. See, I have a spirit of victory in me. We all have it. But I'm here to light your fire, brother. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come and set the night on fire. And we're going to set the Republic back on fire for liberty. And I want you to light everybody else's fire. That's why I like Ted Nugent. Anything else?
I really feel like we need more leaders like you out there, and I really appreciate the fight you're going at.
Well, God bless you. We do need more leaders. And listen, they're going to spin it when I point out that Obama is funding al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria to destabilize, or that they've put al-Qaeda light in control of Egypt, and say, oh, it's an inside job. Oh, they spin that when all I'm saying is our government and NATO continues to fund radical Muslims. That's wrong. Then they spin that to say I'm pro-radical Muslim. Again, all they've got is lies. No, I am against the radical Muslims, and I don't like EU, NATO, the left funding them. Obama is allied with al-Qaeda. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.